in the heart of a big green forest, there was a tiny village called Leela. The houses in Leela were made of leaves, flowers, and twigs. They were so small that even a ladybug looked big beside them. The villagers were called the tiny folk. They were no taller than a thumb, but they were clever and hardworking. Every day, the tiny folk picked berries, gathered rainwater and acorn cups, and built cozy little homes under mushrooms. Though they were small, they were proud of their village. One afternoon, the sky grew dark. Clouds gathered like a giant gray blanket. The wind began to howl through the trees. Leaves swirled in the air. Boom, 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 thunder rumbled loudly. In the forest, big animals like deer, rabbits, and squirrels started to run. "A storm is coming! A big storm!" cried a squirrel as she dashed up a tree. In the tiny village, the tiny folk gathered at the central square. "We need to prepare," said Grandpa Tiny with a worried face. "Our underground shelter is small, but maybe we can make it bigger." Little Nia, a brave tiny girl, stood up. "We're small, but there are many of us. If we work together, we can do it." Everyone nodded. Even the smallest children grabbed their tiny shovels. The tiny folk worked fast. They dug the shelter deeper and wider. They made walls with little stones, covered the floor with dry moss, and used twigs to hold the ceiling strong. The wind outside blew harder. Branches cracked. The tiny folk worked without stopping. Finally, Nia stepped back and said, "It's ready. Our shelter is small for big animals, but it's better than nothing." Grandpa Tiny nodded. "Let's hope it's enough. The storm sounds very strong." The storm arrived. Rain poured down like a waterfall. The wind roared like a lion. Big animals ran through the forest, searching for shelter. 2 rabbits hopped into the clearing and saw the little village. "Please help us," they cried. "We have nowhere to hide." Nia waved her hand. "Follow us. We have a shelter underground." The rabbits hesitated. "That little hole will never fit." "Try it. We made it bigger," said Nia. Slowly, the rabbits crawled inside. To their surprise, it was warm and cozy. The tiny folk had even set out small leaves as mats. Soon, more animals arrived. Hedgehogs, owls, even a young deer. "Can we come in too?" they asked. "Yes, one by one," said Grandpa Tiny. The shelter became crowded. It was a little tight, but everyone felt safe. Outside, the storm roared. Inside, the tiny folk and big animals sat close together. The tiny children sang soft songs to calm everyone. When the sun rose, the storm was gone. The forest looked very different. Many trees had fallen, and puddles covered the ground. But the little village of Leela was safe. The animals came out of the shelter, blinking at the sunlight. "Thank you, tiny folk," said the young deer. "Your little home saved us." The owl flapped her wings. "We thought you were too small to help us, but now we know even small ones can do big things." Nia smiled. "Our home may be little, but it's filled with big hearts." From that day on, the big animals and the tiny folk became good friends. They shared food, watched over each other, and made the forest a happy home for all. Moral of the story: even the smallest ones can make a big difference when they work together. Never underestimate little things. They may save the day when you need them most.